When installing parallel feeders in the same conduit, derating of the wire is generally required. This is primarily due to the increased heat generated by multiple current-carrying conductors bundled together. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides guidelines for conductor ampacity and derating factors to ensure safe and reliable operation of electrical systems. The ampacity of a conductor is the maximum current, in amps, it can carry continuously under specific conditions without exceeding its temperature rating. When conductors are installed in close proximity, such as in a conduit, the heat generated by each conductor can raise the overall temperature inside the conduit. This elevated temperature reduces the ability of the conductors to dissipate heat, potentially leading to overheating and insulation damage, increasing the risk of electrical failure or fire. The NEC addresses this issue through derating factors, which are applied to the conductor's ampacity to determine the adjusted ampacity for the specific installation conditions. These derating factors are found in NEC Table 310.15 current, which is now Table 310.16. To determine if derating is necessary for parallel feeders in the same conduit, several factors must be considered, including the number of current-carrying conductors, the ambient temperature, and the type of insulation used on the conductors. Firstly, determine the number of current-carrying conductors in the conduit. According to the NEC, all conductors are considered current-carrying conductors except for equipment grounding conductors and neutral conductors that only carry the unbalanced current from other phase conductors. If the number of current-carrying conductors exceeds 3, derating factors must be applied. Secondly, determine the ambient temperature. The ampacity of conductors is typically based on an ambient temperature of 30 degrees Celsius or 86 degrees Fahrenheit. If the ambient temperature exceeds this value, a temperature correction factor must be applied. These correction factors are found in the ampacity tables, such as Table 310.16 for conductors rated 0 through 2000 volts. Thirdly, identify the insulation type of the conductors. Different insulation types have different temperature ratings, which affect their ampacity. Common insulation types include THHN, THHW, and XHHW, each with different maximum operating temperatures. For example, THHN conductors are typically rated for 90 degrees Celsius in dry locations, while THHW conductors are rated for 75 degrees Celsius in wet locations. Once these factors have been determined, the appropriate derating factors can be applied. For example, if there are 6 current-carrying conductors in a conduit and the ambient temperature is 40 degrees Celsius, both the conductor ampacity adjustment factors from Table 310.15 current and the temperature correction factors from the ampacity tables must be applied. Let's consider a practical example. Suppose you are installing 3 sets of parallel 3/0 AWG THHN copper conductors in a single conduit, with each set consisting of a phase, neutral, and ground conductor. The ambient temperature is 35 degrees Celsius. The 3/0 AWG THHN copper conductor has an ampacity of 225 amps according to Table 310.16, before any derating is applied. Since there are 3 current-carrying conductors per set and 3 sets of parallel conductors, there are a total of 9 current-carrying conductors in the conduit. According to Table 310.15 current, when there are 7 to 9 current-carrying conductors in a conduit, the ampacity must be derated to 70% of its original value. Therefore, the adjusted ampacity for each 3/0 AWG THHN conductor is 225 amps multiplied by 0.70, which equals 157.5 amps. Additionally, since the ambient temperature is 35 degrees Celsius, which is higher than the base temperature of 30 degrees Celsius, a temperature correction factor must be applied. Looking at Table 310.16, the correction factor for a THHN conductor at 35 degrees Celsius is 0.91. Therefore, the final adjusted ampacity is 157.5 amps multiplied by 0.91, which equals 143.33 amps. This means that each 3/0 AWG THHN conductor in this installation can only carry a maximum of 143.33 amps. The total capacity of the parallel conductors is therefore 3 times 143.33 amps, which is approximately 430 amps. It's important to ensure that the overcurrent protection device, such as a circuit breaker or fuse, is sized appropriately to protect the conductors at their derated ampacity. In this example, the overcurrent protection device should not exceed 430 amps. Furthermore, it's crucial to consider voltage drop when designing parallel feeder systems. Voltage drop occurs due to the impedance of the conductors and can affect the performance of connected equipment. The NEC recommends limiting voltage drop to 3% for feeders and 5% overall for feeders and branch circuits combined. To minimize voltage drop, conductors with larger cross-sectional areas can be used, or multiple parallel runs can be installed. When installing parallel conductors, it's essential to ensure that all conductors are of the same material, size, and insulation type, and are terminated in the same manner. This ensures that the current is equally distributed among the parallel conductors. Additionally, the length of each parallel conductor should be as equal as possible to minimize impedance imbalances, which can lead to unequal current sharing. The NEC also requires that the minimum size of the ungrounded and grounded conductors for parallel installations shall not be smaller than 1/0 AWG. This requirement helps to ensure that the conductors have sufficient mechanical strength and current carrying capacity. In summary, when installing parallel feeders in the same conduit, derating is generally required to account for the increased heat generated by multiple current carrying conductors. The derating factors are found in NEC Table 310.15 Cone, which is now Table 310.16, and the temperature correction factors are found in the ampacity tables. It's essential to consider the number of current carrying conductors, the ambient temperature, and the insulation type when determining the appropriate derating factors. Additionally, voltage drop and proper conductor termination should be considered to ensure safe and reliable operation of the electrical system. By following these guidelines, you can ensure that your parallel feeder installations comply with the NEC and provide a safe and reliable power supply. Always consult the latest edition of the NEC and local electrical codes for specific requirements and regulations.